Tonight's guest speaker is a resident, the wife of an Army captain who is currently serving his third tour of duty in Afghanistan. She's the mother of 4 children and a person who's been known to work nothing short of miracles for our veterans and their families. It's my pleasure to introduce Randi Cairns, who is the founder of the nonprofit organization Homefront Hearts, providing direct support and resources to families of service members and continually working to increase public awareness of the struggles and sacrifices families make when their loved ones are deployed. Randi?
Can I hire you as my PR person? Good evening, everybody. What a beautiful night and a beautiful place for a very special celebration and remembrance. It's such an honor and privilege to join you today in a town I'm proud to call home, on this day when we honor the service and sacrifice of our armed forces. I am humbled by the company I keep here at this moment in time, surrounded by those who have worn the uniform, raised their hand in solemn pledge, and vowed to stand for each of us. In peacetime and at war, at home and abroad, each has served and sacrificed. I came upon this life in the most unlikely of manners. I was a warm, fuzzy, idealistic teenager out to save the world, hugging trees and disparaging those who suggested that defense spending should trump social service programs. Voted least likely to marry a soldier and most likely to be found handcuffed to a park bench for my beliefs by my peers. The idea of me standing anywhere on the planet as an advocate for military folks and their families would have struck young me as very funny. Well, apparently, God does have a sense of humor. He had this amazing man cross my path. He was everything I ever wanted in a guy. He was warm and funny and smart. And wait, what? What do you mean you're in the Army? Oh, you're in the National Guard. That's that weekend warrior thing, right? Oh, okay, I guess that's all right. And so it went. And boy, does that man still make my heart flutter. Those early days went by in a blur. We were both working day and night. Ian was climbing up the enlisted ladder. We were blessed with Katie and PJ, now 16 and 15 respectively. And we did what all young parents do, trying to juggle work and family. That weekend warrior thing happened once a month and 2 weeks during the summer for AT, and I dreaded that time without my better half. It was beyond my comprehension that one day, those 2 weeks would be a year at a time without him. But that became our world, and the world of so many military families after September 11th. Ian graduated from OCS, took his commission, and became, as I say to his great annoyance, all blinged out with impressive tabs. Time became measured by where Ian was. Connor, now 8, was born after Ranger School. Sarah, my 7-year-old, was a deployment baby when Ian was at Gitmo, and I can say Gitmo because he was there. Time both flew and stood still simultaneously, and I gained quite an education rather quickly. I looked back and laughed at the idea that I'd ever thought raising 2 kids was hard, as I stood with 4 children and a deployed husband. I learned that you could cut a foot cast off with a steak knife in 2 hours of your time. If the foot that you broke while the previously aforementioned hubby was deployed was interfering with your ability to drive your kids where they needed to be. I also learned that just wait till your father get home had significantly less impact when daddy's return date was months away. But the biggest lesson learned was that there was not only room for, but a dire need for, warm, fuzzy, idealistic people to stand up for and support families like mine. And I knew the perfect person for the job. And thus, Homefront Hearts was born. Ian was in Afghanistan for the first time. I was working for another nonprofit, going to school for my master's in social services, and home with 4 kids on my own. And I thought to myself, how can I fill all this empty time in my life? And I launched a nonprofit. We started very small. Most of you have read Ian's stories during that time, and his appeal for our help to send winter wear and school supplies to the children of Afghanistan. East Brunswick was such an important part of that effort, rallying in the most magnificent of ways to send our love and help his way. I was honored to be a small part of anything that made people's lives better, here or elsewhere, but I also knew by now there was important work to do right here at home. For the wounded warrior waiting months and then years for disability appeals while he struggles to feed his family. For his caregiver wife who needs to work but can't leave him unattended with a seizure disorder that resulted from a traumatic brain injury he sustained in combat. For the National Guardsman who deployed to Iraq secure in the knowledge that his civilian job was waiting for him, but came home to find the company had folded while he was away. For the Marine who knows how to navigate an op order, but no longer knows how to make it work at home. So many stories of families who have fought for us and now fight for their own survival right here among us. In the time since, Home Front Hearts has been hard at work advocating for military families, not with cookie-cutter fixes, but with recognition of and assistance for each family's unique set of circumstances. For this particular wounded warrior, that meant a hot water heater. They'd been boiling pots of water on the stove for their baths, and new siding to keep the cold out during the winter months, as they had had to choose between money for food and the cost of heat. For his caregiver wife, it was a paid fellowship working with us, and then helping her to secure another work-at-home job. For their children, it was Christmas gifts at a time when the holidays weren't looking likely to happen otherwise. Our National Guardsman received help with employment, resume review, job coaching and leads, some rental assistance to hold him over until a job would cover his rent. The Marine, referral to mental health resources, validation that his experience is common, and acknowledgement of the bravery it had taken him to ask for help. Each of these examples represents the challenges of so many more of our military families: employment, housing, education, mental health. And Home Front Hearts is doing our best to address these challenges one family at a time. Every branch of service, every military conflict, our aim is to give these families a voice without embarrassing or humbling them. We are military families ourselves. We're not guessing what families need or presuming to understand. This is personal for us. And each day we try to care for these families the same way we'd want someone to care for ours. In addition to hands-on direct support, we are committed to outreach and education. We partner with other groups and organizations to extend our reach and impact. And some of the very best partnerships we have include those standing here today: VFWs, American Legions, Jewish war veterans, and forgive me because I know I will have missed folks. But each of you stands as a shining example that those who have given continue to give. We have spoken to churches and synagogues, schools and civic groups to share our stories and call communities to action. What we do, everything we do, is about how to make a difference in the lives of families that give so much in the name of service. Today, I stand here calling you to action. We're good at gestures. We raise our flags. We put "I support the troops" magnets on our cars. We send care packages. And these are all fantastic things to do. They represent us taking notice and acknowledging the importance of our help. But there's more important work to do that requires sustained effort and attention, not just on Veterans Day or at the holidays, when we tend to be more mindful of such things. Work that requires us to acknowledge that our service members serve not just when they are away, but when they are home. As Senator John Kerry said, supporting the troops means paying attention to their needs, both in the field and at home. It means understanding their lives, both as warriors fighting for our nation, and as husbands and wives, parents, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters struggling to take care of their families. I will tell you this: ask a service member, any service member, how you can best honor them, and they will respond without hesitation, take care of my family. This work requires you. And there are so many ways you can make a difference. You can make a donation. You can adopt a family for the holidays. You can rally your place of worship, family, and friends to keep military families at the forefront of their awareness. You can offer your skills, time, and services. You can reach out to local businesses and corporations about the importance of this work. In whatever manner you choose, you can give of yourself to those who give so much. Because as Theodore Roosevelt said, a man, and I'll insert woman here too, who is good enough to shed his blood for his country is good enough to be given a square deal afterwards. So raise your flag today, shake a service member's hand, and thank him or her for their service. But if you really want to honor them and their service, act tomorrow.